All right, we're in session. We haven't really done an update on the Paul Lo Duca, Joe West lawsuits. Joe West sued Paul Lo Duca and the Action Network for allegedly defamatory comments that Lo Duca made on a podcast, and the Action Network's in charge of that podcast. That's why they're a defendant. That was in the fall when this lawsuit got filed of 2019, and now we're in 2020. Joe West has just filed something new. Telling the court, please grant us default judgment because Paul Lo Duca is ignoring the lawsuit, and he has been ignoring it since it got filed. This is what that means. In January, West went to the court and said, okay, we've tried to talk to this guy. We tried to file service at his house and other residents and addresses like Barstool Sports that are in New York. No success. Can we please email the guy? Court says, okay, you can email him. You know his email address, you can email him. So they emailed it, no response. But the one thing that happened in that is that there was a deadline set for March 9th for Lo Duca to respond by. Respond by March 9th. That's your deadline. Lo Duca allegedly has not responded whatsoever. So obviously March 9th came and went, no response. Very quickly, how do they know his email address? Because the smart guy that Lo Duca is put his email address on his Twitter verified bio. Good job. So, fact checking, right? Just like we fact checked, remember when we fact checked Lo Duca's claims from the lawsuit and we were like, Lo Duca, your podcast claims of Joe West accepting a bribe with Billy Wagner pitching. He wasn't actually there at behind the plate. Or his 8 or 9 ejections. He only ejected him once. What are you talking about? So, similar to that. But what happened is, the timeline's really interesting because this was back in January when all this happened. March 9th was the deadline. Now, by March 20th, or I think it was March 19th, and then it was first on March 7th, effective March 17th, but we revised this on March 19th, and we filed it on March 20th. Either way, the important thing to know is after the March 9th deadline, and March 9th was before MLB suspended its operations as well. So after Lo Duca's deadline to actually respond, the court temporarily changed its procedures, amongst other things postponing civil trials. So Joe West files this request for default judgment and says, okay, you're postponed now, but I would like by the end of April, because hopefully you're back by then, you can grant us this default judgment. Because Lo Duca, it's not just that he's disrespecting us, that's the whole lawsuit. He's disrespecting you as the rule of law. He doesn't care about the rule of law. He's disrespecting you, so come down on it. That's the idea. That's only half the story, though. The other half of the story, which I think is fascinating, just as, if not more interesting, is the Action Network. Remember them? They're the other defendant. There's been a settlement. Joe West and the Action Network have settled, apparently, their portion of the lawsuit. Because there was a stipulation, there was a joint filing for discontinuance by both teams, both the Action Network team and the Joe West legal team, saying, we've settled. Now, the terms are unknown. It could be a sealed settlement into perpetuity. Probably will be. But the actual key here is that there was a settlement, and Joe West's team actually told the court, please take the Action Network off of the defense caption on the suit. We're no longer suing them. We're done with them. We're only going after that beautiful human who's taking advantage of a health crisis, Paul Lo Duca. That's the update that we have. I thought it would be interesting to share that with you, that Lo Duca is now allegedly ignoring everything, possibly taking advantage of a public health crisis to further enrich himself by ignoring this. And Joe West saying, okay, court, enough's enough. Unlike the Angel Hernandez lawsuit, because the Angel Hernandez lawsuit, MLB assembled a legal team, and there have been all sorts of court filings going both ways. I mean, it's calm right now. There's not much going on because there's other stuff in the world going on. But at least there, MLB and Angel's team have been doing back and forth. Here, the Action Network did assemble a legal team, and that's why they probably reached a settlement when they did. But with Paul Lo Duca, he doesn't even acknowledge that the lawsuit exists. He doesn't acknowledge that the rule of law even applies to him. So that's why Joe West is saying default judgment. That's why I think that he might have an easier time than Angel getting somewhere with this, because Lo Duca, as conceited as he appears to be at this point, doesn't even acknowledge that he has a lawsuit filed against him. And sooner or later, your luck is going to run out and the court's going to rule against you because you are now just saying, to heck with the court, law doesn't apply to me. And we're going to find out for how long Lo Duca can drag that out and how long he can get away with the law not applying to him. For more information, because we're going to update this as we get updates, visit us online at closecallsports.com. The Twitter handle is at umpire ejections. Facebook is also umpire ejections. We'll see you on the site for more fact-checking and updates as we get them here at Close Call Sports.